since we've all had so much fun, we want to do this again. So let's do it next year. I'd like to invite Andy Marlow, and is Bob coming too? And Bob Olson, and they're going to welcome you to the 2020 AHS National Convention in Minneapolis.
Thank you very much. We are the Minnesota Twins. As you can tell, we're fraternal twins because we have different last names.
Here's the beard, can you tell us apart?
All right, you get this other microphone now, because people want to hear you too. Why, I don't know, but they do.
They must be punished.
When our convention chair, Amy Peterson, decided she just wouldn't be able to attend this convention, she turned to music for inspiration and said, "Send in the clowns." So here we are, and we're ready to welcome you to Minnesota. If you drive, you will see, oh, it went backwards. No, it didn't go anywhere. There we go.
Oh, good.
Technology, it's a wonder. We are not really very confident at it, but we'll work it out.
They were going to find us out anyway.
All right, so if you come to Minnesota by car, you will see one of these wonderful signs at the entrance to our state.
At the border of Wisconsin.
And we are very friendly rivals with Wisconsin. We have the Packers and the Vikings, and the Gophers and the Badgers, and the Brewers and the Twins. And lately we had a little problem.
What was the problem?
Well, the problem was Wisconsin began claiming they had more lakes than Minnesota.
Ridiculous, ridiculous.
Now, we're a modest group over there in Minnesota, and we have a license plate that says land of 10,000 lakes. We really have 11,523, but we're not going to claim that because we're modest.
Modest.
We also have standards.
Standards? What standards?
One of our standards is a lake has to be at least 10 acres.
Well, of course.
In Wisconsin, anything larger than a mud puddle is a lake.
Those rascally badgers.
And so if you apply our standard, as one of our TV stations did, just to show up to Wisconsinites, they only have 5,300.
So bear that in mind with everything you've heard here.
And make sure and bring your life preserver and your water shoes when you come next year.
And your winter overcoat.
Well, maybe not that. We're representing the Minnesota Hosta Society, one of two societies in Minnesota. You just heard from Cindy about Shades of Green.
Or they're the one that's all the money.
Let's hope. Now we have a nice convention hotel all lined up.
I understand it's a throwback to the old time hotel.
You mean it has beds and
The drawers to put your clothes in.
and comfortable chairs to sit on?
That sort of stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Carpets on the floor.
And of course we
And
are.
there's the new modern stuff. Live on your suitcase, put your bare feet in the floor, and it's all that dust will be drying.
Now, and one of the nice things that is like this hotel is all of the convention space is on one floor, so us older guys won't have to go up and down all those stupid stairs.
I've been taking the elevator myself.
Oh, I tried the stairs once. I got to the second floor. The problem is my room is on the third floor.
You learn slow, don't you?
The only problem with our hotel is that it is rather far from the airport. So if you're flying to Minnesota, we made a deal for you. The first 75 people who register, who need transportation from the airport, will get it for free.
So sign up early.
This is an incentive. You'll hear another incentive a little later to sign up as quickly as you can. Now, as usual, we're going to have things that happen. We're going to tour some gardens.
Yes.
And they'll be very nice gardens, such as this one.
We took that picture just before he left.
No, actually, that's not true, Bob. This
Well,
is the picture we took just before I left.
Yeah.
Now, we promise this will be all done by next spring.
And one of them are undergoing those renovations that he was talking about earlier. It'll be done in no time flat, though.
And there will be beds, garden beds.
Oh, yeah, garden beds like you wouldn't believe, yeah.
Right, but spring eventually will come, even on what one of the local radio wags calls the frozen tundra.
Yeah, so this is what you might see in the garden when you come.
No, you'll actually see scenes like this. And we're not going to enumerate the gardens because there are too many of them to tell you all about, but we'll flash you a few pictures and you can get the idea.
Well, we're going to be a little different than we're going to have, you've come before and seen the gardens with 1,000 and 1,500 cultivars. We're going to have maybe a few like that. So many of them are going to be gardens for normal people. On a city-sized lot, where you go away, instead of going, wow, you go away with saying, maybe I could do that at my house.
And there's something to be said for that. Now, you won't be visiting my garden.
Mine either, because we were in the selection committee.
Always get on the selection committee. That way you don't have to have your garden on tour.
Exactly.
Now, we belong to another garden club. We're on the tour committee, so no garden tour for
It
us.
hasn't been in years.
But there was a first-time member who didn't get the word and volunteered to have her garden on tour.
Foolish woman. She learned her lesson.
Very quickly. Now, as a special added attraction, our friends from Shades of Green Hosta Society, located in southern Minnesota,
Rochester,
are going to have an optional tour on Wednesday, June 10th. It costs you a little extra money, but it's worth it.
All the good gardens are down there.
If you were at the 2010 convention and took the optional tour, you understand how spectacular it is, and you'll be signing up today. We're also going to have speakers, meaning education, and there will be a few of the usual suspects.
I took this picture of Mark at the Spokane convention 25 years ago. And it looks just the same now. You notice that? Well, you know what that is? Botox.
Actually, you can't see the wrinkles,
No.
right?
Yeah.
But we're going to have some unusual speakers too.
Yeah, that's Gary Johnson. He's going to talk on roots. You'll love it. We have to have these educational speakers and stuff like that because it's like spinach. It's good for you. A little bit's good for you. We'll go the whole meal of it. So we call it Hosta Florentine. And the roots are to support he's not going to just talk about tree roots, but mainly about tree roots because the principles are all the same. You'll like it. I've heard it twice before, and I heard it again, obviously.
And we're going to have a nice Teutonic presentation on Martagon lilies. Oops, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah.
On Martagon lilies.
Martagon lilies, they have some for sale here. None of them are in bloom. Unfortunately, the gardens here, they weren't in bloom either, but they are spectacular. And trying to get high shade and the high color of the shade is really tough. And these things look good even after they bloom. So, Ron's officer is there. He's Teutonic. He won't tell you many jokes, but he'll tell you what to look for in Martagon lilies. And I would hope to have people selling there with buds on them that will be able to, you'll be able to take home, and they'll bloom that year.
He's also a fantastic photographer, as you can tell by these photos that he took. So
Ron's officer, yes.
you'll enjoy his talk. And here's our spectacular highlight.
This is Elaine Quayle, the quilter. And I'm on the board of directors of the Friends of the Hospice, Friends of the Library in Hennepin County. And one of the librarians came up to me a couple of years ago and said, you should see this article about a woman wrote in one of the national quilting magazines. And Elaine goes out and she photographs hostas, only hostas, an excellent photographer, and then she makes quilts of them. And she had written this article. And I said, we need to get her to write an article for the journal. And Andy might have been a little reluctant. And Janet said, no, it'll be good, Bill. And I was a little worried too about all these guys that were saying about quilting articles. But we got more positive responses on that single article than anything in 10 years. So there is interest out there. And there's an amazing number of quilters here in this group. A couple of them are guys, but we won't out you tonight. And you guys, when you go home, if your wife's a quilter, tell her she'll want to come. Because this woman's a dynamite speaker, voted the best teacher in Canada, and she's coming here with her quilts to show. And I hope that you'll be able to put on a workshop if you're interested. So I hope there's interest out there.
And she'll be bringing some of her quilts to show
Yes,
as well.
show her quilts.
So that's our speakers. We're also going to have
We'll bring some other speakers too.
We'll have a Hosta show, the usual sort of thing. We'll have a theme, and we're having an extra event, which is the patio pot Hostas. Not just the usual container categories, but actually the big patio pots that you need a forklift to bring into the exhibit.
So we're going to win all those contests.
Oh, I forgot. Can you bring those on an airplane?
Oh yeah, just overpriced baggage. Charter the planes and we'll be welcome.
And some of your favorite vendors will be there, and including the Mardigan Lily vendors.
Mardigan Lily vendors.
And Hosta jewelry, and all that sort of thing. And we're going to have a little twist to hospitality.
What's that?
We're going to let you show off. Each night, we're going to have
Maybe the audience show up.
Oh, yeah, you
Not
okay.
me.
Well, he might show up too,
Oh.
but that's okay. We'll have a computer and a projector and a screen. Bring your jump drive with all your pictures of hostas. We have a little theme each night, and you can talk for no more than 10 or 15 minutes. Okay? That's why we don't let Bob go, because it'd be a 2-hour show. And share your photos and your stories and your ideas with your fellow hostophiles. Now, here is the other incentive for you to, come on, to sign up early, and that is the registration fee. The early registration fee beginning tonight, and some of our henchmen, not henchmen, but Hosta associates.
Operatives.
They'll be at the door on the way out, and you can pick up a registration form and mail it in right away. So you get this early bird registration of $200.
If I give you my money right now, can I get number 1?
Of course. You are number 1. You have the Lifetime Achievement Award to prove it.
Don't cash it till the 29th of December. That's when the Social Security checks come.
Okay, and if you can, I don't know if in the back you can read this slide to see all those wonderful things that are included in the registration price, but you can also see it on the registration form. So make sure and pick one up on your way up. And we also are doing another special thing because we have this Hosta Vision 2020 theme. We've teamed up with the Lions Club. They have this wonderful program where they collect used eyeglasses, ones that no longer work because now you're really myopic or whatever the other term is.
Presbyopic.
Yeah, and you've got a new pair.
Yeah.
So tuck away the old pair, bring them with you, and donate them at the convention. They'll go to the Lions Club and their great program where they share glasses with people who can't afford them.
All around the world.
So,
Is that it?
let me push this button again. There are the dates. There is the place. And I pushed too long. You want to get there or square. And make sure and bring your sunglasses because it will be a bright summertime in Minnesota.
And you can see the cutting edge of fashion also.